Hey everyone, it's Zach with Palantir Research. Is Palantir's latest deal with Kohl's a huge win over Microsoft? Some sources might be painting that. But also, how are institutions holding up as we get closer with it right around the corner after hours on Monday for earnings? And we'll look also at the institutional positions with some big buys actually from last quarter going into earnings, as well as Palantir's developer channel just releasing a new demo on their OSDK or Ontology Software Development Kit. This is in association with the blog post that came out first actually on January 22 for those interested. So they'll be Palantir, of course, keep building up their public resources like this, where they do a blog or video first. Sometimes it flip-flops, but it doesn't really matter since the information is out there and it just keeps coming for reference. Now, talking about the institutional holdings leading into earnings, keep in mind 13Fs are still coming out, so this is still incomplete, but we do have some juicy information as of now. The overall institutional ownership still looks to be stable, still around 40-ish% of the outstanding shares. Now, amongst already established positions, there's still an overwhelming higher number of increased holders in shares versus the decreased amount of positions, with the majority being held unsurprisingly. But amongst completely new or sold out positions, the number is a little bit closer here. They're almost even, but with more holders buying, meaning this are smaller amounts, buying in or getting their toes into the water, at least just testing it out. So as I said, these numbers are still subject to change a lot as more and more 13F filings get released, but it's nice to get a temperature check here going into earnings. For some of the big adders, we've got a few institutions too, adding a few 100,000 shares here and there, nothing crazy, with another here on a percentage basis actually increasing their position by over 600% with around 787,000 shares. And then we've got this established shareholder here adding 955,000 shares, but note this is outside of the ARK Invest at the top there with 1.5 million, but that's already been covered on the channel as those come out on a daily basis for those funds. Now, everyone seems to also be circling around this old Microsoft article here with their Kohl's partnership back in 2019 and comparing it to Palantir's new 2024 contract just announced, with them kind of going after the same things here. Now, for the old article, it generally sounds like they were modernizing this, trying to get ready for automation, AI, and just being overall data centric. And note, this was 5 years ago, so it may be just a different environment. Now, I'm sure many of these initiatives still exist today in the org, especially like using Azure Cloud and some of their capabilities since they're already out of the box. But it's still intriguing that Kohl's, who did 40 billion on the top line, just scales and sees the need to work with Palantir, even if it's just on top of their existing Microsoft solutions and services. So they must be able to envision still seeing more that can be done and squeeze out value working with Palantir. So that speaks volumes, honestly, in my opinion. But note, this is just anecdotal evidence and just at the forefront considering the new 3-year deal just announced with Kohl's, which you can check out yesterday's video for the details there that I made. So yes, going into earnings next week, things seem to be stable, at least with the limited data and retrospective data we have on institutions, as well as the general news cycle here. And that also cleanly aligns with the price action we've been seeing with this range-bound Palantir as of late. So it'll be interesting to see the movement right before earnings now and once released, which I'll be covering on Monday. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.